And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal overseas return. We returned here with the quarterfinals of the WardiTV Monday number 32, and we have our fresh series, our PvZ. And spawning in the top right corner of ley lines, we have our Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing his new team, Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. Here we go, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, it happened off stream, but MaxPax, he just took down Skilless 2-0. Big win there for MaxPax. I believe Pommy was covering that over on his own channel, Sub-Zero as well, so you can check that out over on their VODs. Alas, MaxPax did come out on top, and now we have a fresh best of 3. For some greater context, the winner of this series will advance on to the semi-finals. I believe the winner will face off against the winner of Hero and Creator in those lower semis. Here we go. Meanwhile, I believe the entirety of the quarterfinals are now underway. Round 16 has concluded. Now it's purely 8 players remaining here in the tournament, and we'll see how SHIN will approach the problem that is MaxPax. MaxPax, of course, he is coming in as a heavy hitter here, poised to make a deep run in the event. We'll see if SHIN can stop him. We'll see if he can slow him down. Now, we have seen SHIN actually defeat MaxPax quite a few times, especially back in December coming into January, but a lot of that was based and predicated off of more aggressive builds and more unorthodox styles and all-ins more than anything. Now, and bearing in mind that was also back when the patch was fresh, when the map pool was new. Nowadays, it has been played out. Now the meta has settled since the patch, since the map pool, and that is where MaxPax has been able to settle and thrive more than anything. And we'll see if SHIN can try to cause that upset, as it would be an upset here. We'll see. We'll see if we can pull it off. I want to believe at least in an ace match. But now Stargate open out of MaxPax. Now bearing in mind that MaxPax, he is known for having this matchup as being his weakest matchup. MaxPax for a long time had the best PvP in the world. Of course, his PvT is top tier as well, arguably the best in the world as well. Of course, Clem's Protoss has something to say about that. True. Este Clem. But for the most part, like those are the matchups where he thrives in the most, where you can pit him against any player out there and he has a good chance on bringing them down, referring to Terran and Protoss players. Against Zerg, this has always been his kind of weakest matchup, but even then, when I say weakest matchup, I think like, instead of like, 80% win rates, like 75 or 70% or something like that. Like, it's still a matchup that he's still quite well versed in, strong in, powerful in, and still favored over SHIN. We'll see though. We shall see. For now, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener out of our Zerg player. Likewise, MaxPax back at home, going for his own Stargate into Oracle. So far, so good. Does shade away. From the side of SHIN, so far we're keeping an eye out on a couple different things here. We're looking for early Evo Chamber, early Roach Horn, and early Lair. Different tech paths, different kind of approaches here to the game. Our eyes are open here for what SHIN will bring to the table. As Oracle does hit the mineral line, getting 1, 2, 3 drones so far. Nice damage. Oh, the Oracle takes. Oh god, the Oracle goes down. Ay. Big overextension here for MaxPax. This is a little bit uncharacteristic here, and that should not have happened. So already a strong start for SHIN. We'll lose 3 drones, but as well worth losing or sniping an Oracle. So well worth it for SHIN. Likewise, the other Oracle takes some hull damage. So MaxPax, we've got to tighten things up here. Do have to tighten things up. Behind this third base into a Twilight Council, no Forge yet. I don't think this is early enough to be Glaives. I'm leaning towards early Blink here from MaxPax into potentially a 3-base all-in. We'll see what MaxPax brings to the table here, bearing in mind no Forge. So the Forge is going to be delayed for MaxPax. We'll see if he goes into Blink or something more sinister. There we go. Late Forge, should be Blink. Now, with this earlier Blink timing, MaxPax, he can be more active early on. He can threaten some of the bases, specifically the 4th base of SHIN, as Blink is on the way. Blink is on the way here. Likewise, Oracle back at home. Oh, God, does get zoned. 4th base on the way for SHIN. Droning up, saturating. Getting to his lair. Does work towards the lair. Eva chamber on the way. I'm leaning towards Ling Hydra here and skipping roaches. I mean, there's no roach horns, so Shin, he's cutting corners, skipping roaches. Going into most likely plus on melee. MaxPax, remember, is being active earlier on. As Blink is halfway done. Being cornered as we speak. MaxPax, he's pushing. And we'll see if Shin can survive this. Ooh, as Shin is going into +1 range, my apologies. Is going Ling Hydra, but going into the range upgrades instead. With that, he's going to be going for more Hydra heavy style. Slings a poke in. Okay, threading across the map. Going for the Stalkers. They get one, they get two. Blink is not done. And Blink is not complete. Very nice catch here from Shin. Taking down 2 Stalkers. Hydras are amassing. And we'll see if Shin decides to join up his 4th. For now, just focusing on purely Hydra production. Did mention earlier with the +1 range, of course, he does want to make as many Hydras as he can. We have some links to reinforce, to buffer. As MaxPax is moving in. Trying to catch reinforcements. Forcing the engage. Res does pick out 1 Hydra. Oof. Please out a Stalker. With the range upgrades comes Lurker tech, so Shin, he is droning. He's droning, he's taking up into Lurkers as quickly as he can. That's going to be a 7-minute Lurker den. So far, Shin, he's holding. He's holding, he's surviving, getting ready for a Ling run by, gets behind the army. Attempts to surround, stasis goes off. Yeah, brutal stasis. MaxPax, he gets away. I started stepping here by Shin. Forcing out those blinks. Does force the blinks. MaxPax setting up back at home with a massive field of stasis traps. Remember, Shin, he has no intention of committing here. He's just waiting for his Lurkers, just buying time and gaining map control. And moving into Hive Tech. Hive is on the way. Does saturate his 4th, getting up to 80 workers. And so far, Shin looking very comfortable here. Remember, MaxPax, he went for earlier blink. His goal was to get some damage done, to trade against the army, to threaten the 4th base, and he failed to do so. So it's a rougher start for MaxPax. The Lurker production has already begun. And Shin, he's looking very secure. Very safe, very sound. Shin has momentum. MaxPax, yes, he has Storm, but at this point, Lurkers, I mean, they're already out. Lurkers are ready. That Storm timing is not as threatening. Oh, meanwhile, one Lurker goes down. Nice target farming, gets 1. Shin does overextend. Let's preserve those Lurkers. Speaking of, 2nd Lurker gets picked off. Very nice snipes here by MaxPax. Takes down 2 Lurkers. Still a run by is attempted. Does trade well against these Lings. So they get surrounded. Meanwhile, we have Skytoss on the horizon. MaxPax embracing Skytoss as best he can. Another Lurker goes down. He gets 1. He gets 2 more. And Shin once again overextending. Bleeding out a lot of Lurkers already. That's 4 Lurkers going down. Shin needs nice mining. Picks up a couple of drones. Prism gets zoned out of the main. We have the Nidus Storm on the way for Shin. He has no vision across the map yet. But he's getting his upgrades. Getting Lurker range. Tempest production has begun. Now, a kill move here for Shin is to Lurker into the main. If he can get on top of the production, he can end the game here. Right now, both armies are distracted. Lings, they run into Zealous. Oh, they run into Storms. Prism does go for another warp in. Not much at home to defend. Uh-oh. Yeah, SHIN, he has to rotate. He has to respond. SHIN, he is keeping up. Let's take another storm. Tempest is about to reveal itself, and we have the Overseer going into main. Again, so that's what the Knight is. So Knight into the main base. MaxPax, he does have a warp in. There we go, does warp in time. Thankfully, he wasn't maxed out. Oh! First Tempest does get away. The Knight is dealt with. SHIN, meanwhile, gaining ground, getting on top of the High Templar. Forcing out some storms, or at least trying to. Still plenty of storms available. Massive storm on the Lings. Lings getting caught out. Another Knight is into the main. MaxPax, is he ready for this though? Yeah, he is. Does have his army in position. Center base is going to fall. That's a kill, not a cancel. Massive pickup. Oracle goes down as well. No more revelations. Some key beagles here from SHIN. Likewise, lurkers, they get almost into the mineral line. Picking up a couple of probes. A couple of workers going down. And meanwhile, Zell warping across the map. SHIN, he's keeping up. Doesn't lose too much. And meanwhile, lurkers, they also move in. They have to evacuate. A lot of lurkers go down. SHIN, his Spire is going to be delayed here, so there's no good answer to the Tempest yet. We've already gotten up to 5 Tempest. That's a lot of Tempest here for MaxPax. Again, MaxPax is getting to his ideal army. Tempest, Archon, Immortal Storm is exactly what you want in the late game. Likewise, MaxPax's army is split. He's ready on the right-hand side. He's ready. He's locked in. SHIN, he's missed his window. Like, his kill move, his kill shot was to try to Knight us into the main base, but he was unable to do so. And now MaxPax is getting out of hand. He's getting out of hand, getting out of control. Links on forward, denies mining. Yeah, the hatchery is going to go down. Oh, does launch forward. Doesn't get the mothership. SHIN behind this, he's building up more corruptors. Corruptors are amassing. SHIN, he's trying to hold the line. MaxPax gaining more ground, getting another 2 lurkers. Ay, ay, ay. How many lurkers are left? Down to 1. 1 lurker remaining. Without lurkers, this ground army is going to get out of hand. Yeah, and he's done it. MaxPax, he has broken SHIN. Pushing in from both angles here. Bases are under fire. There's nothing to stop him. SHIN, he just let out so many lurkers in the process. Now going for the tithe. Does push forward. Takes down the Tempest. Plenty of corruptors. Mothership goes down. Tempest as well. But what about the ground army? Again, looks like there are barely enough lurkers to defend. At the same time, though, yeah, GG gets called. He just gets pulled apart. And MaxPax, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. MaxPax does take a lead in the series. Again, SHIN, I would say, had a stronger early game, especially when it came to getting up into his lurker tech. But we did mention how SHIN, he had a bit of a window. He had a timing to hit with his lurkers, and he failed to do so. He tried to go for the Nidus into the main base multiple times. He tried to pull apart his opponent, but once the Tempest count got high enough, suddenly SHIN, he lost map control. He lost control, he lost momentum, he could not keep up. His Spire was late, his Corruptors were late, and he was just bleeding out far too many lurkers. At a certain point, once the lurker count got low enough, that was game. That was game then and there. MaxPax just tore him apart. GG, well played. And MaxPax will take a lead in the series. Again, just really patient play. I didn't get to emphasize it too much, but it was so important that MaxPax wasn't maxed. It's a very unique kind of feature when it comes to PvZ and even PvT as well, where you want to make sure you have warp-ins available for something like drop play or for something like a Nidus Worm. If he was maxed out, you wouldn't be able to warp in. You'd have to recall instead, which is more committed. So you did have some free supply to warp in to deal with the Nidus Worms and to shut that down. GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax takes the lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. And we're going to be loading into a much smaller map here, from Ley Lines into Whispers of Gold. we go. Getting into game 2. And again, last game, SHIN, he just got outscaled. Essentially, SHIN, he was hoping he could end the game before the Sky Toss, before that late game composition, but he just could not get there in time. Could not end the game in time, I should say. And we'll see if he can have better success on a smaller map, where aggression is favored. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, leading the series 1-0, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. Go. There's our calming down. So calming down, we're settling in. And again, welcome one and all to Wizards of Gold. Wizards of Gold being, of course, one of these smaller maps of the map pool. Very short rush distance by ground. Likewise, aggression is favored on this map. Speaking of aggression, hello, we're going for a hatch block. So SHIN looking to spice things up here in game number 1. Does move in with the hatchery at the natural. Hatchery has been placed. Now this is not an all-in. This is going to be a hatch opener here out of SHIN. And the goal here is to just delay the expansion of his opponent, force a reaction, force out a second gateway, force out some zealots. SHIN behind this is going for his gas geyser into a spawning pool. So hatch gas pool. Now the scariest thing here for SHIN is going to be the early game defense, just because he's forcing out units, he's forcing out zealots, forcing out adepts. He'll force out a small army early on for MaxPax, then he has to deal with those consequences afterwards. We'll have to deal with that. As the hatchery has been thrown down, the first zealot has arrived. We have the adept follow-up. Ooh, and MaxPax is actually just rallied across the map. Okay, bold move. But he's chronoing. Now, the downside here for this build for SHIN is he will have later link speed and, of course, later production. Okay, yeah, never mind. I was about to say, yo, do we just commit? Meanwhile, the hatchery does complete, just buying as much time as possible. Here we go, adepts, they do move out. They ignore the base. And two adepts, they can one-shot drones. This has to be taken very seriously here. As SHIN behind this, he evacuates the natural. He's massing up Lings. Ling speed is on the way. And we do have Glaives on the horizon. Going for the Twilight Council. Adepts, they threaten the shade. Do threaten the shade, they do catch a Ling. 2 Lings even. 2 Lings go down, hatchery is killed. I love that we have the Overlord on the way, which is going to buy some time. I mean, the Overlord, yeah, going to be able to get some value here, get some scouting in the main base Glaive Adept. So it's going to be a Glaive follow-up here from MaxPax. SHIN trying to confirm he will be able to with the Overlord scouts. You know, Queens, they're defending back at home. They are defending. Meanwhile, it is going to be the proxy gateway here. Lings, they try to catch out the adepts. SHIN claiming his third. He doesn't see the proxy though. Gets one adept, and SHIN, he doesn't check. I mean, why would you? Adepts are reinforcing. Third base gets spotted, and SHIN is in trouble. SHIN, he is massing Lings, but Glaive Adepts, they want to fight against Lings. That's what they want. That's why they're here. There's a cancel. There's a cancellation. We have 7 adepts. SHIN trying to keep up. We have a Dark Shrine follow-up as well. Just hyper aggression out of MaxPax. Ay. There's that Roach Horn. It's on the way. SHIN, he pulls back into gas. Pulls back in. Pulls back in. Drones, they pull away. There's a cancellation on the Shade. Getting the Queens. He gets one. He's going to get two. Oh, barely not. Lings, they move into buffer, but alas, Adepts, they're positioned well between the gas geysers. They go for the drones, and MaxPax, he's done it. He's done it. He has broken SHIN. Cleans up all the Lings, gets 4 drone kills, nice mining, got one of the Queens, going for another. Second Queen goes down. And SHIN, he cannot keep up. He cannot keep up. Not against this. GG gets called. MaxPax snowballs out of control, and MaxPax will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A very aggressive response out of MaxPax. I'm curious. I haven't really seen that response before, but again, he ignored the hatchery. He zoomed across the map with the Adepts, which meant that the droning and the economy was delayed for SHIN more so than usual. Likewise, unfortunately, SHIN, he did miss the proxy. He didn't realize he was being all-in. He didn't realize that Glaives were coming as quickly as they were. He was caught with his pants down. He wasn't ready for it. He did respond and react with a Roach Horn, but last it was too little too late. GG. GG, well played with that. MaxPax will claim the series, and MaxPax does advance on to the lower semis. Let's go. GG, well played. MaxPax will advance on into lower semifinals, and it looks like we have the lower semis ready for us. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves.